about 4 hours from Melbourne, 3.5 hours from Bendigo. On the western side of the Grampians, also known as Garrawerd, is the Rocklands Reservoir in amongst the Rocklands State Forest. There's quite a few campgrounds in the area, and the one we're looking at today is Glendinning. We're going to spend a few days here. Kangaroos.
Oh yeah. So plenty of wildlife. And here we are.
You right there? You're eating all my biscuits. Off you go. Beautiful spot. There's only one other person here. Plenty of wide open space. Plenty of flat area. The lake not far away. Grampians just over there on the horizon. Toilets from here, 100 metres. So quiet, so peaceful. Middle of the week, winter. You're not going to get that many people, which is great. Beautiful spot. Can't believe it's a free campground. Hello, gorgeous. So good morning from Glendinning Campground. It was a chilly night overnight. Got down to 0 at least. Pretty frosty. Woke up to the magpies singing as they are. If you like magpies, this is the place to be. There's heaps of them, and they're friendly. Don't know if you can see it from here, but you can't even see the lake or the Grampians in the distance. Bit of low fog. It's a good spot, I reckon. Beautiful. It's a fantastic night last night. Apparently there was some sort of meteor shower going on. I saw at least a dozen shooting stars, which is nice. Beautiful clear night. That's why there's a bit of frost this morning. So while the other guys are getting the fire started, I thought I'd come down to the water and have a look at this fog bank. It's so peaceful. All I heard was the expansion of the universe last night. I had a really good sleep. I always sleep really good when I go camping. Oh, this looks good. Looks a bit eerie. How's this? Looks fantastic, doesn't it? So calm. So surreal. You can see the smoke off the water. Not the smoke, but the fog off the water. Water's so calm. You can see there's a few bird boxes around, which is nice for the animals to go hide. Oh, remarkably, last night we saw a little, well, we didn't really quite know what it was. We thought maybe it was a little baby possum, but we tried to Google the image and it came back as a some sort of glider, like a type of sugar glider thing, but not 100% sure. Here's your toilet block, your typical drop toilets. They're in pretty good condition, really. Another box of some sort for some animal. I've seen other creatures on my camping trips that I've never seen before, like a bandicoot once down in Blanket Bay. That was pretty amazing. I've never seen one of them in the wild before. And you know, bowerbirds and lots of animals like that. So this is the good thing when you go camping in nature. You see all these wonderful creatures. Not often, but if you're lucky, you get to see them.
Okay, we'll get some more.
Oh, you So there's a day picnic area with pretty good facilities as far as benches are concerned and some fireplaces. It's quite a big reservoir. It covers about 27 square kilometres and its capacity is well in the billions of megalitres. I think that's the right way to say it. Anyway, all the stats are on Wikipedia if you really want to look at it. Apparently there's a sign I saw earlier that said to not camp within, you got to camp 20 metres beyond the high water mark, but it's hard to know exactly where the high water mark is. But as you can see, if you haven't seen already, but there's indications that people have camped right along the bank plenty of times. What I like about trails is when there's bends, you're always wondering what's around the next bend. You never know what you're going to see. Sometimes nothing. So if you haven't seen termites before, that is a termite mound, and they're feeding on the dead tree. Termites don't eat living wood, they only eat dead stuff. You see that little hole there? That's probably been an echidna. Dug it out to get some termites. Oh, look at that nest. 2.5 metres off the ground, so I don't know what bird would be using that. So I've walked around to this spot here, which not sure if the reflection is going to pick that up, but anyway, that's where I am on the map. I've only walked 1.85 kilometres, so I'll probably just do a loop up there and come back down along the other road to the west there. Lots of dead trees. They makes the place look a bit eerie, especially when the fog's out early in the morning. Almost perfectly glass like a mirror. Just the slightest ripple. And the water is, apart from that bit of rubbish and a couple of holes, the water is crystal clear, absolutely crystal clear. So apparently it's only 9.8 degrees, but the sun's out. Oh, and I have to disrobe totally, just back into my t-shirt now, and it feels so comfortable. It's fantastic. First thing in the morning, it's so noisy with all the birds and rosellas and magpies and corellas. I heard them going off this morning. Yeah, I'm going to take a moment. So there seems to be heaps of places you can camp, plenty of sites, heaps. And the roads around the place are pretty easy to navigate. The roads are pretty well maintained. Nothing bad about it, nothing difficult about them. And there's areas where they don't want you to camp, obviously, where marked off with those bollards. But there's so many spots. Heaps of spots. Of course, as soon as I put the camera away, I saw another mob of kangaroos, and I've seen 2 big hares running along. One thing I was going to mention was when you go camping in Australia, you do have to be careful with dropping limbs. You don't want them to fall onto your tent or your caravan, and people have been hurt and even killed with giant limbs falling onto them. So you sort of got to have a look at the trees and see what sort of condition they're in. Sometimes you can tell they're pretty fresh, so they're just going to bend in the wind. But when you look at some of the old stuff on old grey trees like this, you can see one's come up there. So that's something to consider when you're camping in a tent in Australia. Just be careful where you park your tent and caravan. So look at this tree here. I wouldn't be putting a tent under that because you can just see that there's some pretty dead limbs on that. And even the ones that have got lots of green leaves on them, if it's been a fairly dry, droughty period, they can get fairly dry and brittle in the middle. So it doesn't take much of a wind to snap them and have them fall. See these ones here? Yeah, I wouldn't trust them. So you can see it's quite a big campground. Lots of space. Lots of flat spots, which is great. There's tables, benches, day picnic areas, plenty of toilets, and they do take care of this place by the looks of it, which is great. And I'll say it again, I really recommend it here. It's so peaceful and quiet. That's what you want.
Well, I won't finish the investigation in the next 4 weeks.
So it's going to go back to...
So it may as well go to somebody who's going to start it.
Yeah, somebody's going to get a half-eaten sandwich in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, because...
So it was another good night last night. A little bit cool, but not as cool as the night before. Not as frosty in the morning. No fog that I noticed. Got woken by the magpies again. It's like they're saying, hurry up, wake up, we need some food. Lots of little wrens. Saw some wedge-tailed eagles thermaling around. There's a boat ramp there, for obviously for the boats to go down. I heard one this morning. Just doing another little walk southwards from the camp, a little loop, not too big. Again, plenty of room. Looks like another toilet block over there. So look at this spot. Pretty flat. It's got a slight incline to it, but it's pretty good. So here's another spot. Picnic tables, day picnic area. It's a massive campground, and to be honest, probably the best free campground that I've seen in my years of camping around. Plenty of room, look at that. This is magnificent. And there must be a few of these markers around, high water mark. So technically, well, you have to camp 20 metres up from the high water mark. So technically not all down there. So that was a short loop. I didn't realise it was so quick to do it. You can see on the map, on my little app, the map on the app of where I am. I like these little interesting spots. They're just different from one spot to another. So all these thin trees. Have a look at this. Makes for an interesting location, doesn't it? So the wattles are out already, and the bees. So there's a few other videos on YouTube for this place. A couple of good videos actually. Ones that use drones as well, so you can get a good overhead look at what the place is like. And I'm not trying to compete with those videos because we need to have those sort of videos. What I like to try to do with my videos is to give the most updated version of what the place is like. So sometimes places have the water go up and down or disappear altogether, and people want to know what it's like. It looks like it's a meteorite, flew out of space and landed right there. Wouldn't want to be camping there when that happened. But as far as I recall, I think they're called Spitfires. I remember those as a child, but then again, they might have a slightly different look on them. I don't know, I'm getting confused now. I'll have to look that up when I get back, unless Google's going to tell me in 2 seconds. The Spitfire sawfly, in the family of Okidoke, found around Australia. Grows to 22mm in length, with 2 pairs of honey-coloured wings up to 40mm in wingspan. So the picture is one of these. I can't actually remember ever seeing that sort of fly, bug flying around. I see the caterpillars often, but Where's the bug? So have a look at the colour of the water. It's got that tannin look from probably leaves over time. A bit of a rusty look, but it's very clear. There's quite a bit of water in this reservoir, as you can see. It's a big reservoir. Oh, it looks like someone put some sort of ladder up on that dead tree through there. I wonder if they're jumping up there, which could indicate that it's a bit deep over there. Apparently the maximum depth of the reservoir is about 17 metres, I think, which is what, 50 something feet. And you can see how far the end of the boat ramp is to the water. So the levels obviously change over time a fair bit, as you saw with that high water marker.
That's fucking good.
Imagine if I just say, oh Dan, can I just have one cast just to see how I go? I do one cast and the fisheries just roll up.
Oh. I thought you were
Okay.
going to catch a fish. Yeah, and you catch a fish.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, ooh, nice one. That's pretty nice, yeah.
Theory behind the saying.
Oh, yeah.
So another saga in the Dan Valentine fishing experiences. I caught myself a gum tree. How's that? I gotta pull it out without it getting into my eye. So if you like magpies, this place is for you because they're pretty friendly. I think they try to get to know you first. Then they wake you up in the morning to tell you that they're hungry. And they hang around looking for bits and pieces of things. And when they're pretty happy with you, they'll come and land on your lap and take cheese straight out of your hand while you're trying to eat it. So be mindful. If you like Maggie's doing that, that's fine. So that's the end of another trip. Packing up, doing all the right things, making sure the fire is out. We had a good fire, plenty of wood. Probably a good idea if you bring your own wood.
It was a good trip. Really nice area around here.
Yeah, top spot. Awesome.
See you next time on another. See you next time.